spin that block, get dizzy. Man get popped, no pizzy. Man get splashed from the Draco. Wet man call that drizzy.
Chris Bosh, as you know, may or may not know, he is a finalist for the Hall of Fame.
What?
Right? Yeah. You know what I mean? It seems like they're letting everybody in right now. But
oh man!
hey,
Hey,
I'm just
hold on.
saying.
Side note: do you remember when Shaq called Chris Bosh the RuPaul of big men?
Yeah.
Yo, we gonna get to Shaq in a little bit, man. Shaq been going in on mess from time. Yo, it ain't nothing new. Anyways, back to CB4.
Yeah, so like, do you think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? That's my first question.
Yeah. So let's look at the numbers, yo. Chris Bosh's last season in the NBA, he averages 19, 7, and 2. He has a career stat line of 19, 8, and 2. Obviously, him going to the Heat and being the third wheel on a well-oiled machine, obviously he had to take a step back. He had to, sacrifice his game. But the contributions that he made to that team and to that championship run cannot be denied. He actually what's the phrase? He actually that big who can stretch the floor, that stretch four. Sorry, that's what it is. That stretch four, him and Dirk, they kind of really revolutionized that in a sense, right? You know what I mean? Before that, we weren't really seeing a lot of fours hitting like that, right? So he added a component to the game that is a must in any championship team. His work with the Miami Heat, his work with the Toronto Raptors, what he did, while I don't co-sign the way he left and how he handled that situation, because obviously you a young gunner, you're not going to remember. I don't know if you remember all the intricacies on how it went down, but basically,
I remember.
Basically, he played Toronto like a fiddle. He wouldn't be committed, and really, off the strength, Brian Colangelo was like, "Yo, I'm gonna keep him because he's our guy. We drafted him. We're gonna take his word for it. Come free agency in the summer, boom, he's out of there." Right. So I really wasn't I wasn't really down with that. However, I understand as a player, you got to do what's best for you. Management doesn't always have your best interests. They'll trade you at a drop of a dime. So with all of those contributing factors in play, I say yes, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, 100%. So if he gets in there, shout out to him.
All right, I hear that. I agree with that. I can co-sign that. Like, he knew he was gonna lose. So do you think he should have just been transparent with us, because there was players that we could have got that came off the board because we were waiting for him?
Yeah, absolutely, he should have been. This is what I'm saying. Like, if you look at this is why men like Garnett get held in a high regard, because if you look at the situation where he went from Minnesota to Boston, he didn't want to leave Minnesota, even though they were in a losing situation. It wasn't looking good. They weren't able to attract any free agents. He was so loyal to the soil. You know what I mean? So and then on top of that, you don't think Garnett could have played that I'm just gonna be on the hush, and then when it's my time to leave, I'm gonna just bolt and not say anything. He gave the organization a heads up, this is what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? I want to stay, but I also want to pursue a championship. And off the strength and respect that the organization had for Garnett and the work they put in, they honored that, and they said, you know what, we're gonna send this guy, send him somewhere where he can have a chance to win a chip. Bosh, on the other hand, he did us dirty, So did T-Mac. They did us dirty, right? So for that, you're gonna lose some ratings for that. For me. You know what I mean? Definitely, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna hold it completely against him. The work he put in on the court warrants him being in the Hall of Fame. He contributed to a championship run. So I'm gonna give him that.
All right, cool. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So next, Chris Bosh. Where do you rank him amongst the all-time greats as a Raptor? The Raptors all-time greats. Where do you rank him? So we have we have DeMar, we have Kyle, we have Vince. You know, you have T-Mac, you have Chris Bosh. You have Antonio Davis. You have Stoudemire. You have Camby. You have
Uncle Oak,
Crispy.
man. Don't forget Uncle Oak, B.
Oak. Uncle
yeah, we gonna talk about Uncle Oak in a minute too.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
no, I got it all up here. So my ranking
top five.
Here's the top five. Okay, so my top five all-time Raptors. Obviously, number one, I'm giving it to Kyle Lowry. Okay?
Rightfully so,
man. Like, you know, and I talked to my boy the other day, Travis. Shout out to Travis. He's doing his thing in the WNBA, coaching and stuff like that. Kyle Lowry's compete level will never be matched. You know, I've never seen a player like built like that. He's not no athletic guy, but his compete level is what makes him an all-time great, right? It could be the 63rd game in Minnesota or Sacramento. You're gonna get the same competitor and same competitive spirit that you would get from him playing at Madison Square Garden first game of the season, right? And for that, I just have the ultimate respect for it, because at the end of the day, man, it's about competitive. I like competitors, man. We gonna compete. We once we're in those four lines, yo, it's a war. It's a battle. And who's gonna step up and compete and lay it all on the floor? And Kyle Lowry is that. So I give him number one for that. Plus he was able to break through his playoff demons and deliver for that chip. So we give him that. Second, I'm gonna give it to Vince. There ain't no Raptors without Vince. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he did us dirty too. He did us dirty too. You know what I mean? But Vince just holds a special place in my heart because, yo, he made it cool to be a Raptor fan, man.
I got some inside information on what happened during that time, so it kind of changed my view on him doing us dirty or not. But we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, continue.
I kind of want to hear that. It might change my perspective, man. He might go up to number one. But anyways, another time. So we give Vince number two just for everything he did for the city, man. I remember tuning in Sunday afternoon, CTV, the show on the Raptors game, and it became like must-watch TV. I mean, to the point where we were getting the national televised game, Vince dropping 50s. He's doing something that you had to see every night. Man, there was that stretch where he had the 2-game winners.
McGrady gets it to Vince Carter. 2 seconds. 1 second. Beats the buzzer. Oh, Vince Carter!
Just a huge shot, and as I said, the stuff that legends are made of, and Vince Carter continues to grow in stature around the NBA.
A second and a half to go. Seatbelts are mandatory. Clippers lead 94-92. Carter wide open for the win. He is invincible.
An incredible performance by Vince Carter. The Clippers defense broke down. There was no pressure on the ball.
Yo, B, you can't write that. You can't make that up, man. It was storybook. You know? So for that, I got all the love in the world for VC. I appreciate guys who come back and right their wrongs. You know, he did make mention that he could have handled it better and stuff like that. So I'll give VC number 2. Number 3, I'm gonna have to roll with Mr. the Compton kid, yo. You know what I mean? DeRozan. And you know what? My love for DeRozan is bittersweet. You know, I wanted the Raptors to draft him. So they drafted him. I was preing him in the NCAA tournament. I'm like, this is a guy we should look at, right? Obviously, potential outweighed what DeRozan became as a player. Like, I think his potential was higher. I don't think he reached his full potential. You know, he definitely got to be an all-star and all that, but I think there was another level DeRozan could have got to. And maybe it's no fault of his. I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying he just didn't develop as I thought he would have, right? I thought he would have been that all-around player, could play D, could take you out the dribble, hit threes, you know what I mean? Just a 5-star player. anyways.
He had the tools. He had the athletic tools to do that. You know, when you look at him, saw him in high school and in college, like he looked like he had the built and, you know, everything to do it. So, you know,
yeah.
But, hey, that's another story. Yeah.
That's for another story. And you know what, bro? We talked about it. Sometimes it's less about the outside and like what's in here. Right? Your mind can definitely be play a detriment to you if you don't have the right mindset, the confidence, and all that type of stuff. So, I'm gonna give DeRozan number 3, and then I'll put Mr. CB4 at number 4. I'll slide him in at number 4, which I think is a fair place for him to be. I do remember like him coming up short in the playoffs. But he was the lone gunner, y'all. He was the lone gunner with a bunch of role players beside him, right? So, I mean, remember TJ Ford? It was supposed to be him and TJ Ford running the whole show.
TJ Ford got hurt.
And TJ Ford got hurt, right? And was never really panned out, right? And Jose Calderon, we show love to Jose, but he's not that guy, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and also I remember, what's his name? Jorge Garbajosa. I don't know if people remember.
Garbajosa, yeah.
No, he went down too.
You know, to this day, I still never seen that injury. I never seen that injury that he got in Boston.
You don't.
And I will not.
It's bad. It was bad.
It was bad, eh? I remember I was in university in Montreal. Shout out to Montreal. Shout out to the M. And I came home and my boy with Travis once again. He was like, "Yo, you should have seen the injury Garbajosa had. All you heard was silence in the arena, and you hear a man. I never heard a man scream like that."
So he's 4 of 11. Down the floor, Jefferson with foul. And Jefferson's a little bit gimpy, and there's Garbajosa's hurt.
He's hurt right now. Yeah, Jorge Garbajosa is hurt. Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he is in major pain right now. Jorge Garbajosa on the baseline right now is the Raptor medical staff and trainers tending to him right now. And
it's just a sick feeling, Jack.
Jorge was screaming.
I mean, we heard the screams from here, and we were about, what, Jack, 40 feet away?
For some reason, I just said, you know what? It's something I don't need to see. There's a few injuries I haven't seen. Like, I haven't seen Paul George's, you know?
That was nasty, too.
Yeah.
And that guy from college, Ware. I think his last name is Ware. Yeah,
I saw that one. But I was watching the game. That's why I saw that one. You know what I mean? But, I just... certain things I just don't need in my mental is going to affect me when I was still playing back in those days, you know? So, anyways, so that's number 4. And then number 5 is a tough one for me because, you know, I want to go T-Mac. I want to go Uncle Oak. I want to go AD. You know what I mean? I want to go Stoudemire. Like, there's so, and I want to go AD. There's so many different ways I could go. So I'm just gonna name drop those 4 players for my fifth person.
Would you consider JV?
Jonas?
Yeah, I'm just saying because the longevity that he has with the Raptors. I'm just saying because I know some people that really like JV a lot. I'm just putting it out there. He wouldn't be in my top 5, but I'm just
shout out to Jonas.
Would you put him amongst those 5? Would you put them amongst those guys?
Shout out to Jonas. I love what he brought to the table, but he is not in my top 5. He's another player who didn't reach his full potential in my eyes. And when you compound the fact that OKC always coming with these damn trades, offered us James Harden for Jonas Valanciunas, and we didn't take that deal.
Oh yeah,
bro, it's hard for me to. Those are heavy expectations now. Because look at what James Harden became, and look at what JV is. But I shout out to JV, love him. You know what I mean? But right, he just didn't develop the way I thought.
Spin that block, get dizzy. Man get popped, no fizzy. Man get splashed from the Draco. Wet man call that drizzy.